Thank you for joining us on our next episode of Small Business Chat. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, including stances. Can you trademark them? What kind of stances are popular that have been trademarked in the past? And we also have somebody that just trademarked their own stance, Yusuf Dikeç. That's what we have today to talk about. And to join me is Mr. Matt, as always. How's it going today?
How you doing? And we're not talking about like political stances, are we?
Um,
Can you trademark?
no, I don't think this is more so the way that somebody either can jump, we're going to talk about,
Oh,
and the way they jump in the air. It's a very
oh.
famous
Yeah, I know where you're
on
going
a
with
bunch
that
of
one.
shoes. And also the guy who holds a gun like he's in the hood, and is my impression of Yusuf Dietek's stance. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. But Matt, how's your week on? How you liking this 70s weather now?
Bad boy, bad boy. Yeah, I love it, man. Thank God we're back there. Because as I get older, I do not like the heat. I
Matt, are
love this weather.
Matt, are you more of a morning person or a night person?
I'm the unique combination that I just don't sleep, so I'm sort of a morning and a night person. But I mean, again, you talk about my overall business advice. I'm a get up at 5:20 in the morning type of guy and get all of the stuff that you don't want to get done for your business done by 7 a.m. And then
Gotcha. You
and
got
then
you work those Mark Wahlberg hours.
yeah, what was is Mark known for that too?
Oh yeah, he wakes up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and does everything in his day before like 9 or 10 o'clock. Does his workouts, he gets all of his work done or whatever he needs to do in the morning, and then when everyone else is waking up, he's already done with his day for the most part.
I had seen a little snippet on him where he was, yeah, well, he's because he's done extraordinarily well, and props
Great
out to
work
him,
ethic.
hardworking man. Yeah, great work ethic, and probably because I think he comes from modest beginnings, you know, and you get there and stuff. But yeah, I remember him like having a gorgeous home. Obviously, he deserves it. And but he's got like just an awesome gym in his home. I remember him like, yeah, I saw something like he gets up at like what he's like in there working out at like 4:30 because he's got to keep shredded as long as he can because that's part of his thing,
Yeah,
so good for him.
exactly. Yeah, good for him too.
Yeah, I love that work ethic. But yeah, I'm a morning. What about you?
I have been a night person for a very long time, but ever since I've gotten married, I guess, and then also have my own house now, I've become like a morning person. I don't know why. I love the waking up in the morning, getting the trash out, smelling that the dew on the grass, smelling hearing the birds chirp. I don't know. It's really nice and relaxing when I
I
go on my
got
wrap
this
up.
picture.
Yeah.
I got this picture of you sitting on your porch now, just sitting out there, like Disney characters, like an animals be walking up to you on your porch with you have the birds
Yep.
chirping. Although I didn't you just kill a bunch of birds or something?
No, no, no. I did not. I just took their home away.
You relocated
I
them.
relocated them, yeah, which
Good
is still
places
going
to.
on. I still have to take care of it this weekend. So, but Matt, let's talk about some stances, not political. But in this case, we're going to talk about somebody that's most recently trademarked something, since we love to talk about trademark news and trademark things. Yusuf Dikeç. He's renowned for his new trademark distinctive shooting stance that has most recently gained global recognition during the 2024 Paris Olympics because the way he holds his gun. When I first saw it, I was like, man, he is hood when he holds that gun. I don't know. I'm pretty much everyone that's knows anything about the Olympics, they know about this guy. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, and he's trademarked his stance. I don't know what he could possibly technically use it for. I guess he could become the next Michael Jordan with his stance. I guess that leads into our next points of who is a famous person who has a famous stance, which is the trademark Michael Jordan jumping into the air, slamming a basketball into the hoop on all of his shoes. Air Jordan, one of the most, if not the most popular shoe of all time. So yeah, Matt, let's talk about it. What do you think about Yusuf Dikeç trademarking his shooting stance?
It's weird because that's exactly what my nickname was in high school. But no, just sorry. No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, good for him, man. I mean, because we've learned recently from the and by the way, now I remember from now that I know, so I'm going to jog back for a brief minute to our last podcast. The demure woman statement, whatever her name. I didn't realize that her last name was LeBron. And so when you said LeBron and that's what brought me in. We talked about LeBron James, all this stuff. I didn't realize their last name was LeBron or something like that. But anyways, as we know now, from that and all that sort of stuff, like I think you could trademark his stance, absolutely, if it's done the proper way, just like Michael Jordan's jump man, but he's got to do it in connection. Remember, trademarks are what? Goods and services related, right? So
So
he's
he's got
got
to
to
be
do
using
it.
it for clothing or something, probably, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know how you could technically look it up at this point on the USPTO's database.
Yeah. I mean, well, ooh, how you would look it up? Um, okay, so if it filed for it as an individual, you could actually just look it up under his last name. But then you look it up under design code, and it would probably be design coded to something like, because they have it like, a silhouette of a man holding a gun or something like.
Well, he
You look
definitely
it up with
did
like,
file it individually. He definitely hired somebody to do it because it's not in his own
yeah.
name.
Well, and as we know, you don't hold assets in your own name,
Yep.
right? And that's again a general business tip. Form an LLC, hold your trademark or your patents or businesses or whatever. So all be held in LLCs. But that's for another podcast. But yeah, can he do it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot like could he do a picture of himself like in the way his I don't know gangster style like in I don't know too much gangster style. The thing is just all the other competitors just would have like all their official shooting gear and this fancy stuff and all this stuff. I think he just walked up with like flip flops, whipped out the gun, side shot it, and was just like silver medalist, and everyone's just like you're a badass, you just like get my nine out, pop, pop, pop. And like they're all like, with their sandbags and getting these things officially and looking like target shooters. This dude just walks up like friggin', he's out of like Boys in the Hood, John Singleton's famous movie, and just like it just blows away that target. And you're just like, boom. So
Can you
heck
do
yeah,
those
man.
pop,
You
pop,
should
pop sounds again, Matt? Can you do that?
actually pop, pop, pop. I mean, it's just yeah,
Yep.
you don't
So
want to hear that sound in real life. That's it. It's just saying the first time you hear it in real life, you're like, is that a gun? Then you're like, maybe we should get down. But anyways, I digress.
well, Matt, how would you hold a gun if you're in the Olympics? What would you be your pose?
Oh, well, pointing at the judges and say, "Give me the gold medal." Is that a pose? So,
That's a good way.
of course, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not advocating violence towards the judges, say for maybe the gymnastic judges and
You
stuff.
got to do what you got to do to win, Matt. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, I know exactly. You got to be a champion. Yeah, unless you're basically the judges that just screwed up the judging of the gymnastics that cost our girl the bronze medal to the point that we had to appeal, and then they basically denied the appeal because she came like a split second too late or something. Like you're just like you don't realize the fact that you screwed up has any part of this either.
Right.
How about that? How about mea culpa? Okay, why don't you freaking take responsibility and keep the young lady who actually did what she was supposed to do keeps the bronze medal. But I digress. Back to the gangster shooting style of this guy. So yeah, I mean you can trademark it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would be interested to see how it is trademarked, whether it's like a silhouette, kind of like LeBron has, no, not LeBron, geez, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And just kind of see how it comes
LeBron
about.
has one. LeBron has one. It's just him flopping
Yeah. Oh,
or whining about the no call.
oh, yep, that's
Jordan doesn't have to whine about no calls. He just hit the winning shots.
yeah. You should look up a compilation of LeBron flopping. It's pretty funny. He
Oh
does
yeah,
it a
he's a good
lot.
flopper. One of the greatest of all time still, but he's a flopper.
Yeah, 100%. Now, Matt, have you ever seen the movie Air before? It's
I
about
did not see the movie. It's on my list.
dude,
Heard it's fantastic.
it is fantastic. You should see it. It's got really great actors in it. Matt Damon is one of my favorite actors of all time. Same with Ben Affleck. And they obviously they're the creators of the most famous shoe of all time. And it kind of goes into detail how they created it, how they built it around Michael, and just kind of the struggles they went through in the beginning. But with the trademarking the stance, obviously Michael did it to sell his shoe. And with the shoe sales, I mean, could you imagine what it would be like if he didn't trademark that, Matt?
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, so the original brand, of course, was the Air Jordan and such, but I think it's just recent. And I don't know if he got inspired by Tiger Woods because Air Jordans came out and such, and then I think when Tiger signed his original contract, he wanted almost like a brand that could separate from Nike if things ever went south with them. I think ultimately it did. So he got the cross TW, or the whatever, the overlaid TW, which is a really cool brand. But then Jordan recently came out with the Jumpman, with no one knows what we're talking about. Like, I think it's one of his famous, like, dunks from the NBA dunk competition.
Hmm.
But so when we talk about, this new shooter guy, could you trademark a silhouette of yourself, in connection with clothing or otherwise? The answer is absolutely yes. I mean, just look at Jumpman for Michael Jordan. I mean, I think that's even the new brand that a lot of, like, I think I've seen on a lot of college football uniforms. And of course, if you're the Florida Gators, they're probably going to make you take it off, pretty soon. Sorry, I love my Gators, but this season they're struggling already. But so you have that. I mean, like, so you know, just throwing Taylor Swift out there. I'm surprised, like, she hasn't come up with a silhouette of herself to, put something on as well, like, and such. But again,
I
from
knew you were going to tie it
my
in with Taylor Swift again, man. I just
you
knew
knew
it.
I'd tie in with Taylor Swift somehow, right?
Yep.
But
Um,
yeah, but I mean, so but you've seen it, silhouettes. I think the other famous silhouette that I can remember, and no one, I think for years, no one even realized this was an actual silhouette of somebody, but I think it's of Jerry West, the original, and not the original, but the NBA logo that we all know, with like the silhouette of the person dribbling the basketball. I believe that's the late great Jerry West, dribbling that basketball. I think it's Jerry West. I should look that up. But so we talk about just the silhouette. So when you come back full circle to this shooter guy, which I can't remember his name, despite ironically it being my nickname in high school, haha. But we know that you can do it. You just have to do it in the right way. And so again, for those who are out there in the business world, small businesses, there are a lot of unique things you can actually trademark, that you can, if it's, so long as it's used to identify your company, your brand or whatnot, and silhouettes would fall right into that.
yeah, and some other famous silhouettes you can think of as Marilyn Monroe, all the silhouettes she was a part of whenever came out and she was famous.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's very known for that, just not having all of her silhouettes. Not, I don't know if they were trademarked or not, but um, having them all over the place too, because
Oh,
that's
I got another good one.
yeah,
Actually, I think it's actually pretty famous. It's old. I happen to be, by the way, so back in the day, sorry, it's Alfred Hitchcock. There used to be like a Hitchcock Presents, and then they would like sort of fade away, and it would be like his silhouette next to like the Alfred Hitchcock Presents. That would have been one they could have actually done. Sorry, for a minute I drifted back to Orson Welles, because we actually helped him recapture. Well, we helped his estate recapture their trademark rights into the War of the Worlds and all that sort of stuff. Way back in the day. But sorry, but that was not a silhouette. But I'm trying to think about, other famous silhouettes. Like, so
yeah,
instance,
yeah. Alfred Hitchcock's silhouette is famous. He's literally just a side view of him
yeah,
looking straight
yeah,
ahead,
yeah. I mean, I mean, yeah, and
double
that's
chin and all.
yeah. And I don't know if the Hitchcock estate ever filed to trademark that, but they could have, in reference to, like, movies or, something. And actually, it probably wouldn't even be Hitchcock estate at this juncture, probably be whoever owns it, like Warner Brothers or, whatever major studio, whatever it was that actually produced those films back in the day. But anyways, yeah, you can do it.
KFC is another good silhouette.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Colonel
The
Sanders.
Colonel. And we love the Colonel, because the Colonel is one of the most inspirational dudes ever, because if everyone knows, he is literally the poster child for creating a business when you think that you should be at retirement age. That man could just make some good chicken. And I can't remember. I think he was in the 60s when he opened his first KFC or something like that. And that's, by the way, I think you do know this, right? KFC also, an offshoot of KFC is actually Wendy's, because I think Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, worked at a KFC.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure that's true. But again, almost, so many motivational speakers, entrepreneur speakers point to the fact that it's never too late to open your own business, because look at Colonel Sanders. Now, that's obviously, he had it big and has some damn good chicken. I still love that chicken. Hey, what's your favorite chicken, by the way? Do you like fried chicken? You better like
I
fried chicken.
love fried chicken. I'm in North
Good.
Carolina.
Yeah.
I like probably my favorite is Bojangles. Still, you can't beat it. They're
Peter
spicy
Bowman.
chickens. It's a part of me being a North Carolinian.
That's
Everyone's
good
got to like
chicken.
Bojangles.
Bo's damn good chicken. I give you that. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I could eat it in all forms. My favorite sometimes is just find their tailgate special. And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, nobody's going to know what Bojangles is unless you live in South Carolina or North Carolina. But Bojangles to me, it's just like my favorite is just getting the tailgate special and getting the big, huge breasts. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Oh yeah, Jacob.
The good old big old
We
breast.
know that about you.
Is there any famous trademark breasts you think, Matt, in the world?
Okay. You're asking me, could you trademark a breast or a
Can you trademark
silhouette
a
of
breast?
the actual breast itself? I
Uh,
think you could probably, okay, so, and just not to be rude, but I mean it's part of her career and it's not a joke. Dolly Parton. That would be the
that's a
woman who
good point right there. Yeah.
the most famous person known for the size of their chest, I would have to say would be Dolly Parton in all of history almost. And if she did a silhouette of herself, and you got, if you know anything about Dolly, you got to love Dolly. And if she did a silhouette of herself, I'm sure she could probably trademark it because I mean literally she defies physics, because she's this little teeny thing, great larger life personality, has done so much good in her life. She didn't need to. She's given back so much, and she still does to this day. She's such a wonderful person. But yeah, I mean, with the size of her boobs, yeah, it says I don't even know how she stands and walks around. But one an icon in America and just an absolutely spectacularly wonderful person. But could she have trademarked that image? Probably. Yeah. I don't know what she'd trademark it for, but she got theme parks, she's got food,
You can't
obviously
really get
music.
flagged for that type of thing, can you? If it's, sexual, I guess.
Used to be. They invalidated that statute. Supreme Court came in and said that statute no longer exists. Yeah, a couple years ago, 2A got ruled unconstitutional because it was arbitrary. It's arbitrary and capricious because who knew who was whatever. So now you can trademark the F word, you can trademark all this sort of stuff. Things that are sexual or whatever because it's just who knew who was setting the standard for it. It was just a couple people. I think that trademark office now they may have promulgated new regulations to get around that I'm not aware of. But yeah, that was one that they had to get away with. But you're correct. Originally, that was the case. But you could trademark a bus line or something like that. That's not too salacious, I don't think. You try to, yeah, I think if you were actually trying to like trademark a silhouette of a triple X, like pornography position where you could actually see, forgive me, like penetration or something, I'm confident that the Patent and Trademark Office would come out and do the right thing one way or the other, and they have the power to basically be like, no, 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 no. We're gonna, or like just take it one step further, actually just a porn picture of someone performing an act on somebody else. The trademark office would be like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. I
It
think
has its
somehow, yeah, they're good people. They figure it out.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, I'm trying to think of what else we could talk about for silhouettes. Is there with Michael Jordan's logo, um, do you think that it could have any wait, would you have filed it for a copyright and a trademark, you think, or just a trademark?
Yeah, I think you can get both copyright and trademark. I mean, if it's unique enough, that's really the standard for copyright is it a, original work of artistic expression and and
And
so I
would he have owned it himself, or would Nike have owned it?
believe it or not, it actually with a copyright, it comes down to actually who is the author of it? The author would be as, who actually created the image, be it a photograph or actually drawn by hand. But then who is the author and then who is the claimant, as they call it down the Copyright Office. And the claimant could have been Nike, it could have been Michael Jordan, but then you have to show how you own it. So in other words, did that work? So in other words, on the assumption that Michael Jordan did not put pen to paper and actually draw this thing of himself, which I doubt is the case, it was probably a silhouette image, basically, done through a computer that basically was looking at a famous photograph of him, and such. So the person who actually was the one who basically did that would be considered the author, the computer designer or whatever. And so that author, or, it could be considered the author by a work for hire agreement or otherwise, but then the claimant, you would have to just basically show a chain of title to that image as to why the author is not the claimant as well, the owner in better case. And either through what we call a work for hire agreement. In other words, you work for me, so anything you created basically during that work is mine and such, or an assignment. to be the actual claimant. So again, who would actually be it? Yeah, it depends on his contract with Nike and who's actually promoting the brand. My guess would be is it's probably like maybe Nike, but then there's probably a trap door. So if the relationship ever breaks up, Mr. Jordan has the ability to actually grab that logo away from them for the appropriate remuneration. That would be my guess. Something like that. But just as we sort of because we'll wrap this one up here in a minute or two. But just I think the larger thing to just remember as trademark holders out there and business owners as well is this silhouette thing with this guy just sort of emphasizes that trademarks aren't just logos, names, and all that sort of stuff. There are unique things you can actually trademark. And again for another podcast, but if there's something that identifies your business, that's really the key to a trademark. Be it the sound that you produce, your motorcycle produces. Harley Davidson has that low rumble, protected. The shape of a bottle. I think Palm Wonderful may have the barbell look of their pomegranate juice actually protected, because when you see the bottle, the Coca-Cola bottle definitely is protected. That hourglass design. There are a lot of different things you can actually trademark that aren't just your standard names, logos, slogans, and all that sort of stuff. And so
What's the strangest or the most out of this world trademark or copyright you've ever seen in your career, Matt?
Strangest.
Yeah, like you can't believe somebody tried to trademark that.
I've had ones that made my skin crawl. I can remember the dude that called me up and he was upset that his, wife's trademark was, he needed to trademark his wife's name because she was a porn star. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, you have an interesting marriage there, fella, don't you? But I'm just like, oh, that's great. Yeah, he's like, I am really upset that my wife's name is being infringed on. I'm like, if my wife was a porn star, that would be about 40th on the list of things I'd be upset about. I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's what you're upset with this morning. Okay. And that one, I just like literally you talk to that dude and I just like you get off the phone with him. And it wasn't just it was a trademark issue. It was just when you talk to him. I don't know if you've ever had you needed a shower after you talked to
Oh
the
no.
dude. You just were like, God, I just feel like just disgusting. Cause like, and we just like, how can you, but I'm like, even porn stars need love, I guess, just ask Stormy Daniels and President Trump. Anyways,
I thought we weren't going to talk anything political.
I wasn't political. That was just relationship stuff. But anyways, I got you. But yeah, that was probably the strangest thing. I'm trying to think. I mean, back in the day when I worked at the Patent and Trademark Office, someone tried to trademark the shape of a blade for a lawnmower.
Really?
But that was back in the day when patents were expiring, and so people had figured out that you could trademark the shape of unique package design, right? Like we just said, the Coca-Cola bottle. And so back in the 2000s, when people's patents started expiring for design patents, and such, some crafty attorney, some really intelligent attorney was like, holy crap, I bet, because we are just starting. There was a case called Morton Norwich that came out from I think it was the Supreme Court. And it basically said, yeah, if someone's product is really associated with a very unique package design, then you can actually trademark that package. Well, we all know the hourglass shape of the Coca-Cola bottle. I mean, I've been in sub-Saharan Africa before, and you see that shape of that Coca-Cola bottle because Coca-Cola has the greatest distribution network in the history of the world. It's, you can find a Coca-Cola anywhere in the world. It's amazing. And it's in that hourglass design. And even though I can't read the script writing at that juncture, because it was where that part of the world I was in was, it was an Arabic nation in Africa. And basically I couldn't read it, but I knew that was Coca-Cola in that bottle because of the shape of the bottle. And so when in this sort of law passed, and they sort of updated the law in the 2000s, early 2000s, there was just an actually gold rush for patent holders that had design patents when their patents were expiring. They're like, well, we're going to go get this, trademark. And I can remember looking at this, design for like, I can't remember what lawnmower company, put it in, but they were trying to trademark something that was coming off of a patent. There was a unique blade design that I guess cut grass better or whatever. I know my managing attorney, who is just a great guy at the Patent and Trademark Office, is no longer there. But we just looked at this and he goes, did they have a patent for this? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, don't trademark it because there's a legal qualification. It can't be functional. A trademark can't be functional. It has to be non-functional just to identify who it is. And so by definition, a design patent does not function as a trademark because design patents are the functionality of them. Well, what does it do? Well, it's a better blade. Well, if it's a better blade for something, people don't recognize it as yours as a trademark. You're just trying to get this, you're trying to extend some type of protection. So that was probably the strangest thing I ever saw someone try to trademark. But the weirdest overall trademark experience was just the porn star's husband. Ugh.
You bringing back bad memories, Matt?
Just weird memories. It just, I mean, because everyone, you go to a place where you're just like, nope, nope, naps, yeah, nope, and nope. I'm really concerned about my wife's trademark being infringed. Really? That's what you're concerned about today. Okay.
There's a lot more worse things that you could to worry about today.
Yeah, it just, and again, it was a friggin' just weird interaction. So, wish them all the best. Hey, maybe they're still married. I went, 0 for 1 on my first marriage, and maybe they're still happily married. So, maybe they discovered a secret that I'm just not willing to discover.
Everybody needs somebody, Matt. Everyone needs somebody.
Even porn stars.
That's exactly. Well, we'll leave it up on that one. We'll leave it up on that last note. Thank you for everyone that's joined us today to listen about trademarking silhouettes, especially with the Yusuf Dikeç guy getting his trademark stance. So see here soon, possibly some new t-shirts coming out with his stance on it. So look forward to that. Again, this episode is sponsored by the Trademark Company as always. If you need any help getting a trademark started or trying to file something with USPTO, we're here to help with that. So, give us a ring, call the company line. Any of our senior account managers here would love to help you. So thank you again for listening. Please join us on next week's podcast. And as always, stay classy. Bye-bye.